Texas aims to pioneer strategic reserve for Bitcoin. Let's get into this. With President Donald Trump's inauguration just a few days away, Bitcoin and blockchain supporters are bracing for crypto friendly policies. Leading the charge is Texas, with Senator Charles Schwarzenegger announcing a bill to launch its first state level Bitcoin reserve. In a Twitter X post, the senator announced the filing of SB 778, making Texas the first state to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. According to the Texian legislator, creating a reserve will position the state as a blockchain leader, drive economic growth, and secure everyone's economic freedom. Texas is the 10th largest economy globally and has over 194 billion in general revenue that will fund the state's operations from 2026 to 2027. In addition to its huge budget, the state has a growing Bitcoin and blockchain economy. It also is home to several crypto mines, including the ones in the city of Rockdale, which is acknowledged as the biggest Bitcoin mining operation in North America. According to the senator, it's about time that Texas led the way in approving and launching a crypto reserve. In addition to the proposal to start a reserve fund, SB 778 also outlines a recommendation to set up the Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Advisory Committee. This committee shall include the House chairs for appropriation and finance, a comp controller, a member of the Senate, the House, among others. Although the general aim of establishing the state's crypto reserve is to leverage the blockchain and use it as a hedge against inflation, SB 778 also outlines its specific purposes. According to Section 403.703, the state aims to hold BTC, Bitcoin, as a financial asset. The document also specifies that persons, including Texians, can donate Bitcoin to advance shared ownership and a sense of community. This document also highlights specific transactions that will not be allowed. For example, Section 403.705 indicates that the comp controller cannot approve transactions to buy Bitcoin to be held in other countries. Other states are actively pursuing individual reserves. Although some questions and risks are associated with creating a reserve, many states are pushing forward. Aside from Texas, Oklahoma has shared its plans to hold the premier digital currency as part of its currency reserve. Representative Cody Maynard filed HB 1203, the Strategic Reserve Act, which aims to allot a portion of the state's pension funds to buy these digital assets. Pennsylvania lawmakers also submitted their plans to invest in Bitcoin. The state's policymakers suggest that the state's treasury allot up to 10% of the funds to buy crypto. Representative Mike Cabell says the state can follow the lead of private financial firms like Fidelity and BlackRock. So, as you can see, we have states, we have the government, we have everybody getting into Bitcoin. Like I stated before, there is roughly 1.5 million Bitcoin available for purchase right now. This is not financial advice, but you should listen. Secure your family's future with Bitcoin, even if it's just a few dollars worth of it. Please consider adding it to your portfolio, doing more research, learning more about it. But as you can see, everything's on a fast track now. We have a new president coming in who is crypto friendly. So you're going to see more and more regulations. Don't be the last one to the party. This is the Awareness District. I am T Short. Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and join me on the next episode. Can't wait to share this information with you guys and get my community excited about digital assets and the new fourth industrial revolution. Thanks again.
Chicago, January 16. Don't move. DEA. Show me your hands. Slow, slow. The barking commands and grenade-like explosions jolted Marlin from his slumber. He was disoriented and fuming. The glare of the large military-style flashlights crisscrossed the room. All were aimed squarely at him and balanced above the barrels of assault weapons. He always slept with his gun under his pillow, so he instinctively reached for it. The AR-15 muzzle to his jaw quickly contradicted the logic of his instincts. "Give me a reason, asshole," the DEA agent seethed. His aura emanated intense adrenaline. Marlin could smell the stench. The agent snatched Marlin out of bed while his cohort tossed his pillow and grabbed a gun, while yet another one turned on his bedroom light. Marlin wore only a pair of navy blue polo boxers while being slammed face first into the wall and cuffed. "You're making a big fucking mistake," Marlin gritted. "Shut your mouth." "What the fuck is going on?" "I said shut up." "I'll tell you what's going on," a high-ranking agent of the DEA said as he stepped into the room. He held up his gloved hands, and in them were two packages about the size and thickness of a Webster's dictionary, wrapped in plastic and duct tape. "Fresh-cut heroin, straight from Mexico," he smirked and mockingly sniffed one of the packages. "I can still smell the wetback. Found it in the couch cushions." "Heroin," Marlin echoed. "No fucking way. This is a setup." "Marlin Porter, you're under arrest for—" "This is a mistake. I'm a federal agent." His accuser wore a menacing smile and responded with a gloating tone. "I know. That's the best part." By the time they reached the MCC Federal Holding Facility at the intersection of Clark and Van Buren Streets, Marlin was enraged. He didn't know what was going on and intended on quickly getting some answers. His perp walk upon entering the facility with his hands cuffed behind his back and a DEA agent at each elbow was embarrassing, to say the least. The first set of eyes he met were those of the special agent in charge, Philip Ortega. Everything about Ortega screamed FBI, from his inexpensive navy blue suit all the way down to his spit-shine floor-schemes. He gave Marlin a penetrating gaze and approached him with his trademark military gait. Ortega crisscrossed the room and accosted the DEA agent in charge. "What the hell is going on, Frank? You go after one of mine and I gotta find out through a goddamn back channel?" Ortega was furious. Frank gave him a shrug and a smirk. "What can I say, Ortega? Your guy stepped in it big time. A reliable source says your guy's dirty, and we hit pay dirt. We found 3 kilos of heroin and $70,000. Ortega hit Marlin with the harsh look of anger and betrayal that made it difficult for Marlin to hold his gaze. Marlin fought the wave of guilt in his heart and stood steadfast. "Mr. Ortega, this is bullshit. It's gotta be a plant. It's all bullshit." Ortega turned back to Frank without responding to Marlin. "Let me talk to him." "Philip, he's in custody. You have—" "Frank!" Ortega sharply barked. Frank visibly jumped while several people looked in their direction. Frank sighed. There was a natural rivalry between the DEA and the FBI. It wasn't as intense as the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, but it definitely didn't pull on the DEA's heartstrings to see the feds with egg on their face. Still, Frank knew Ortega was taking it hard. A dirty agent was bad enough, but a dirty agent on your own watch was a hard pill to swallow. He eventually relented. 10 minutes, Philip, Frank replied. He flashed 5 fingers twice to emphasize his point. Ortega took Marlin by the arm and guided him into the first available office he found. He shut the door, then turned to Marlin. "You son of a bitch," Ortega hissed. "How long has this been going on?" "Sir, you telling me you believe this bullshit?"